you the demonstration vouchers. Also, Lubos Kamarik from Nanoprogress, the nanotechnology Czech cluster, who is also VIDA partner, is going to support me in case I need some extra support with your questions. And also, as a guest speaker, let me introduce you to Vít Políček from the company Kraus. It's an SME from the Czech Republic who is going to give us a small presentation on resource efficiency at breweries. Also, at the end of the webinar, we will have an innovation in these VIDA webinars, which is a pitch-style presentation by solution providers. This means that we have invited all the SMEs that have registered for this webinar to do a small presentation in a pitch style. They will have 5 minutes to present the solution targeted for breweries to tackle resource efficiency at this specific food sector. Just before starting with my introduction, some instructions, indications on VIDA webinars. So first of all, this webinar will be recorded in case an interested party couldn't make it for the webinar. This records will be uploaded in VIDA webpage. You can submit all your questions during or at the end of the presentations, written through the chat. I sent you the indications yesterday. It's in the bottom of the web meeting room on the right side, where you can just write your questions. I will read them out loud, and I will assign a presenter or maybe myself to answer it, okay? Then the presentations and the questions and answers will be sent to participants and published in the website. And of course, a small disclaimer, this webinar is merely informative and subject to the approval of the European Commission until the voucher program is actually published on the site of the European Commission, who hopefully this will happen very, very soon. So I will start with my presentation about the VIDA project key facts. So this is an Horizon 2020 project that started in last year in April and will end up in March 2021. It is a cascade funding scheme to support the innovation in SMEs. What does that mean? That means that we have 4.5 million euro in which we are going to spend directly in SME innovation, 3.3 million euro. We are 10 partners from 7 countries in the European Union, and 8 of them are clusters, clusters from different sectors. Our common goal for this project is to support resource efficiency in food value chain through innovation. So these are an overview. Most of you might know at least one of these clusters, because probably most of you are a member of a cluster. But the main idea of this project is to collaborate one another. So this is one of the objectives of this webinar, to increase the mutual knowledge of the different cluster members. So the contents of my presentations are summarized here. I'm going to present very briefly the funding schemes, also who can apply, who can be as a beneficiary of these schemes. I'm going to focus my presentation on the demonstration voucher, which is one of the 3 types of vouchers that we are going to find in the VIDA project. And of course, which tools we are going to put in the market, in the online market, to help you find partners. Because as you will see, these demonstration vouchers pretend to increase the cross-cutting, the cross-sector and cross-region collaboration between SMEs from different countries and from different sectors. Starting with the first point of my presentation, VIDA has 3 different vouchers, 3 different schemes. We call them vouchers. These vouchers are created to direct support small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, seeking new resource-efficient solutions. The three voucher schemes are briefly explained in this slide. We have the Innovation Support Voucher, which are the smallest one, up to 5,000 euros. We have the Validation Voucher, up to 25,000 euros. These two instruments might be applied by only one beneficiary, of course with the support of a knowledge provider and maybe a technology center, but always a single beneficiary. And then is the Demonstration Voucher. Of course, this is a bit more complicated, but also a bit more interesting in terms of the scope of the projects that are going to be funded. These Demonstration Vouchers are the biggest one, are funding from 20,000 euros up to 250,000 euros per joint project. And what does a joint project mean? That means that a minimum of 2 SMEs need to apply to this scheme. Of course, the two smallest vouchers were explained in the first VIDA webinar, which took place in December last year. And then we promised that we were going to organize a specific webinar for the other vouchers, the Demonstration Voucher. And more than that, we're not going to organize a single webinar for this type of vouchers, but up to 3 additional webinars in which we are going to tackle these Demonstration Vouchers. Why? Because these vouchers are a bit more complicated. It's not a single beneficiary. It's 2 or more beneficiaries, and we need to encourage the participation and the matchmaking between different SMEs from different countries. And that is the reason why you are all here, hopefully, to find mutual interest in an innovation area in the food value chain and find a partner. So as it is explained in this slide, the Demonstration Voucher, as I said, I always mentioned about the expected projects. We are going to make 2 calls in this year. Why 2 calls in this year? Because, of course, as you know, the projects are to happen in a period from 6 months to 12 months, and we also need to sort of get us a report of them, and the project ends up in 2021. So we need to make the 2 calls in 2019. As I said, the expected participation are from 2 SMEs up to the consortium you need. In this case, the maximum amount of SMEs participating depends on the project, and which needs to be, as I said, feasible and reasonable enough in order to be able to finish it in 12 months. The limit for each individual SMEs is the 60,000 euros maximum that an individual SMEs can receive from VIDA project. So this limit applies, of course, in these vouchers. So a single SMEs cannot apply for more than 60,000 euros in a Demonstration Voucher project. The eligible costs for these vouchers are the applicant SMEs, of course, the proper costs and expenses from the SMEs. We will see this later. And service providers, subcontracting entities that can support this project. The expected technology readiness level of these projects, that, as you may know, is the method that the European Commission uses to measure the maturity of the technology of the innovation project. So we expect a tier L from 6 to 8 is quite high, tier L, but of course we want the projects to be quite close to the market. We expect the projects to test to validate either in relevant operational environment, because we want to see a demonstration, validation and tests within this project. Who can apply to these vouchers? I think I already mentioned many times, but of course applicants must have and declare an SME status in accordance with the SME definition of the European Union. You have here the main facts, the main facts of the eligibility conditions that the SMEs need to comply, which is employ fewer than 250 people. The applicant has an annual turnover not exceeding 50 million euros and an annual balance sheet total not exceeding 43 million euros. And applicants need to be active in one of the following sectors: the food production chain, water technology supply chain, energy technology supply chain, or KIT, key enabling technologies supply chain. Also, another eligibility condition that must be fulfilled by all applicants, also in these demonstration vouchers, is that they must be a member of a VIDA cluster. As you all know, we are up to 8 clusters in this project, or be headquartered in VIDA region. We will see next slide who is here in the table. Also, applicants must declare their financial stability. And as you can see, these are, well, apologize for this slide. Maybe it's not that clear, but let me explain briefly to you. So it's basically Portugal, Germany, the Netherlands, Denmark, Czech Republic, and we also have the northern part of Spain, the Aragon region, and Lombardy from Italy. So, as you may know, we want to be close to the SMEs that we are supporting, and this means that the scope of this project has been limited to this region. More about this demonstration voucher. I think I said pretty much everything of this of what type of projects are to be funded, but to go a bit closer to this goal. It must be a joint project between more than one beneficiary SMEs from one of the sectors. That doesn't mean that they might cover all these sectors, but of course you must understand that the VIDA projects are placed in the nexus of all these sectors, and we truly believe that are certain technologies, are certain projects that can tackle all of them together. So the project must also involve a so-called challenge owner. What does that mean? That means that as we are expecting to read projects that involve a demonstration part, a validation, a test, that means that a representative from the food sector must be involved in the project, either directly as an SME or indirectly, that you're presenting a certain place where you're going to conduct all the demonstration tests. Of course, this project must address one common challenge in the food value chain, which are, some of them are described in the following slide. And additional entities, such as large companies or research organizations, can also participate in the project, but they are not eligible for funding. So they must be linked to one of the eligible entities as a subcontracting entity. They might be subcontracted. As I already explained, the eligible activities are testing solutions in relevant operational environments with the mentioned TRL. These are some of the examples. Some colleagues of the VIDA projects remind me to explicitly say that these are merely examples. So there might be additional resource efficiency challenge out there that you perfectly know in the food sector that also connect all the mentioned sectors, water, energy, CAT, and food, and might also be eligible. But here we made the exercise of putting some examples from different sectors, subsectors from the food value chain, from fish farming, farming both in the north and south of Europe, different food industries, greenhouses, and here you have some examples that might also be used for the different projects to tackle. I also put some examples because in the last webinar this worked very good. It's quite visual, so let me explain. Let me put you two. Maybe two applicant SMEs that are collaborating with one research institution that want to demonstrate a new membrane application for water recycling in greenhouses. This is a totally not real example, but might be real, of course. So the budget would be distributed as it is written in the slide. For example, the SME A might have 20,000 in personal costs, which them are 2,000 in materials and 18,000 in subcontracting a consultancy service of a research institution. As you see, this SME A budget does not exceed the 60,000 euros maximum per SME, which is a limit that cannot be exceeded by any SME. And the other SME that is from another country, from the eligible VIDA regions, have 20,000 euros in the prototype construction, 5,000 in the lab analysis, and 2,000 travel costs, testing facilities, and 18,000 in personal costs. Total demonstration voucher request, 90,000 euros. As you can see, this fulfills all the different limits and conditions that we explained before. Another example, a bit more complicated, but of course also a possibility for applicants, for all of them SMEs, that want to make a demonstration project to enhance water quality control in fisheries through optical sensors. The four SMEs have different budgets. All of them are within the range of more than 10,000 and less than 60,000 euros. The first SME only dedicates to the project personal costs. The second SME dedicates different budget to materials, prototype constructions, and personal costs. And the third SME dedicates only, again, budget to personal costs. And the last SME dedicates budget to subcontracting and personal costs. Total demonstration voucher request, 150,000 euros. As you can see, the diversity of the projects is quite high, and hopefully this, of course, both the different roles and the budgets need to be well explained in the different documents that which templates are not yet published, but hopefully they will be published soon. And finally, about partner search. What are we going to do, the VIDA team, to help you find potential partners for these demonstration vouchers? Well, we have many instruments. Of course, we are programming these webinars in which different SMEs will have the possibility of presenting solutions, technologies, and experience to solve a specific challenge in a pitch style. So this is the first one. We will see in some minutes. Of course, there will also be the possibility of physical events. We are organizing 2 physical events within VIDA projects that will be specifically addressed to this matchmaking, to this networking, in order to support the demonstration vouchers project development. The first one will happen in only 1 month, next month, February the 5th, during SMAGWA Water and Irrigation Exhibition here in Zaragoza. Upcoming events will be announced in VIDA website, which I all encourage you to visit. Also, you might contact directly your own cluster. You can just set a direct request to your own cluster, searching for complementary solutions, technologies, and or challenge owners. In this sense, you can make a tailor-made specific search for your single individual needs. In case you're searching for a very specific SME to go with you as a partner in this project. If you are not a member of the VIDA cluster, our door and window is totally open. Just the contact details are in the website, and I mean, we are open to your direct request if you are an SME eligible for funding. And of course, last but not least, we have a platform, a Clue 5, that was created by clusters, for clusters. It's the VIDA engine for facilitating the collaboration among cluster members. This platform is made only for VIDA cluster members, but the benefits of using this platform is that it will also help you to create, to build your proposals in when you are preparing the project. Of course, the questions that you might also raise is when these calls are going to be published. This is a very good question, and we hope to open this call at the beginning of the year. This is what is written in our initial plan. So I can say that there will be 2 calls in 2019, and the first call will be hopefully open in the first trimester. The calls should be open for approximately 3 months, so 2-3 months, so you will have enough time to prepare your proposal. But just be ready, because most of the details are already known. If you have your idea and you know what partner you're looking for, this is the place. So I'm sorry for my long presentation, but I think this is the end. If you have questions, as I said, just use the chat. And then I'm going to give the floor to the next presenter, who is going to give us a small presentation about breweries. Breweries are one of the eligible, as you know, it's a very important industry in some of the countries that VIDA project is based. We are having Bit Politic from Kraus SME, and he acknowledged to give us a presentation on the challenges of this sector in terms of resource efficiency. So, thank you very much for your participation, and let me upload your presentation in 1 minute.
So
there you
go.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I thank you to Mrs. Clara Presta for my introduction. I will just repeat that my name is Witek Pawlicek, and I am a representative of commercial subject, Czech SME. Our full name is 3+K Kraus. And in my presentation, I would like to show you some background information about Kraus company and beer market characterization, its size and potentials, and the core of the problematic. This is why we are here. Okay, so I will just repeat that Kraus company, to make it easy, just Kraus, not 3+K Kraus. It's SME from Czech Republic, with the place close to Prague. Company was founded in 1992 by Miroslav Kraus, and in the present his son is the CEO of the company, and his grandson is growing and present working in a company too, so we can call it a family-based company. we just started working like a supplier of a service connected with existing stainless steel material for pharmacy and food industry. Because sure, you know, brewing technologies is in these days is based on a stainless steel material, so it was just a small step to try this part of a food industry branch. So construction of brewery technology started before 18 years, and important thing that I need to tell you is that Kraus company is not just a reseller of a technology, but it is a constructor of more important parts of whole difficult technology parts. For this time period, Kraus built over than 38 microbreweries, not just in the Czech Republic, but if you know something about the beer market, you know that it rises so quickly in Eastern Europe. So we built many breweries in Ukraine, Russia, in Germany too, but most of it they are in the Czech Republic. Okay. Wait a moment. Okay, so just information about the Czech beer market. You should know that the Czech Republic is #1 in the beer consumption per citizen. I don't know if it is something that we could be proud of it, but it is a number taken like a fact, because this number is partial information about the market potential. Generally, Central Europe is a region with a rich tradition of beer production and consumption. In the other words, brewing and beer drinking have a cultural dimension here. Some numbers, for example, annual production of a beer is over 20 million hectoliters beer, and this production is based on the 427 breweries in Czech Republic. This last number is very important for us, so we will look on it more detailed. Okay. This number, that 427 breweries, we could divide between industrial and microbreweries, and we see on the board that we have 46 industrial breweries and close to 400 microbreweries. It's not so bad situation, we can see, but when we want to obtain a better image or idea about this part of the market, we need to connect these numbers with the production ratio. They are on the other plot. You can see that when we production over 20 million hectoliters divide between these two groups, breweries, you see that the microbreweries takes only over 2% of annual production. It's not a surprise, it's a normal situation that the industrial breweries are the biggest player on the market. So this was the actual information. So now we will have awareness about the present state, but what about the trend of the market? This is the other very important information. On the next plot, how you can see, I would like to show you information about the development in the microbrewery market, because I will just repeat that this part is a key part of the branch for us. So on the values we see some linear growing trend, and we are still growing from the 2010 to these days. We are still growing in a linear trend, which is from my point of view very important. The next information we can ask what is the capacity of the market, the highest point